Thank you for watching my presentation on how to make LinkedIn's weekly post impressions email actionable. About me very quickly, I've been in the marketing space since 2006. I founded my company, Harbeke Marketing, in 2023. And at this link right here, you can learn more about my background and what I currently do. So you've probably gotten this email. We get it once a week, giving a very quick overview of post impressions. But have you ever checked it out further? Have you ever clicked through? When I first started getting them, I didn't really dig into them until later. But most people, I think, just kind of let it sit there or delete it and don't do much with it. But I wanted to make this actionable for my business, and I did that. So I wanted to share tips to help you do the same for yours. So if you have clicked through from that button where it says view your analytics in that email, you'll only see the number of post impressions or engagements by default over the past 7 days. You can change the time range on that to a max of up to 365 days. But even if you do that, you just still see an adjusted chart with data points. On that same page related to post content, there is a top performing post section at the bottom of that page, but it only shows you a snippet of post previews in decreasing order of impressions, or you can also set it to look at engagements. And that section at the bottom that I was just talking about does have a show more button, but clicking it only shows more posts over the given time range, which would be the longer, the more history there. It's older posts that would have gotten, even though they're older, whatever older posts got impressions or engagements this week. So in that section of LinkedIn, there's not a lot you can do if you do click through from that email. So the problem as I see it, as I saw it for my business, is that there's no way within LinkedIn to see which topics, and these topics are important to your desired leads and thus to your marketing strategy, will trend the highest for impressions. And then, how do we track how this changes week over week in perpetuity? So here's how I solved this for my business. I created a Google sheet, and I'm going to show you a mock-up of this in a second. I created a Google sheet with several columns from left to right of post impressions last week to note the number prominently shown in that email from LinkedIn. That week's top performing post topic, again, that's from that email. You'll see in that email a little snippet of the text of whatever the post is. In some cases, I do need to click through to the post to get a sense of what I posted about if it's not clear from that text preview. I also created a column to note which video posts of my posts on LinkedIn versus non-video posts. And then topics. And the way that I do it, one column each per topic, 10 columns max. And then a note under that, I limit it to 10 columns because if I'm talking about significantly more topics than that, then I'm probably getting too broad and not niche enough. In my case, I have two main audiences, so I don't want to get too crazy where it's not related to either of them. I just talked about the columns, and now I'll show you what I did for the rows. I do have rows for email date by week when the emails come in. Column B is where I would note that impressions number from the email. Top performing post topic. I'll talk more about that as I actually customize that further for my business, but you can note editorially, content-wise, what that was about. Here's the column for video post. If you ever were to resort these rows to understand video posts versus non-video posts, then all these rows from D to the end, I just put a value of 1 in. So in column D, I would put 1 if it's a video post, leave it blank if it's not. And then in my template here, I have 10 topics max. The way that I do it to make this spreadsheet or this chart work, whatever topic I put in here, and I just populate this from left to right as I go on, as I post longer in history. Whatever topic I put in column 1, or sorry, row 1, then I would put in this case, row 13, so that it shows down here at the bottom of the chart. And again, 10 topics max. You don't want to go too crazy for what you're talking about. So as promised, I'm going to show you what my sheet looks like for my top topics with about 9 months of data filled in. I started doing this. I put my sheet together a few months ago, and then I went back and looked at the previous emails that LinkedIn sent me for this weekly, all the way back to the start of the year, so I could have a full picture for this year. And then just a note on this, among my 10 target topics, at any given point, I can see which maybe 3 to 4 are most popular over time. And what's really helpful about this is that on a given day, if I'm have writer's block, if I'm stuck, if I don't really know what I should be writing about, then I do through this sheet and this quick work of jotting down some quick data from each weekly email from LinkedIn, I do have a data-driven North Star to turn to. Okay, so here's my sheet. As you can see, it starts with the first. This is on the 8th, but that was for that week up to that point in January. So it does have the email date, column B. I noted my impressions weekly. I did start putting in column C of like content wise what the actual topic was. So I provided in this template, but you can always hide it or just ignore the column. I found that over time, like I originally was putting that in there, but then I hid it because as I go along more in time and fill this in, I personally don't find a need to go back and as long as I know like what the topic was, I don't need to know what the substance of that particular post was. So I provided in the template, but you may not need to use it. And I personally haven't used it more recently. Here's that column D with the video. So if I ever needed to resort this sheet, then I could do that again to compare impressions of video content versus not. And then in my case, here's my 10 topics. And then I just put a one, just like in the video row, a one in whatever row it is for that week. And as you can see, I was kind of random all over the place up until the last 4 to 6 weeks in here. More recently, you can see that because I have a networking focused product that I launched recently, I've been more intentional about doing networking related posts. And then they rose to the top for impressions each week. So that's a little bit skewed. But before that, I wasn't really giving too much of a strategy for what I was posting about and just trying to see what rose up over time to become most popular. And then I built in through the end of the year at least. So I've got extra rows to fill in. I'm waiting for the next email from LinkedIn on the 23rd. So here's how that looks like for the chart at the bottom. So it's really cool. I really like that if I'm stuck on a given day, I can know that, oh, sales and client acquisition. I mean, it makes sense. Obviously, a lot of businesses are very focused on that, but that's what's risen to the top for my content. That's number one. Number two is tied by business leadership lessons and networking. So that is how I'm organizing this over time. And just a quick note, I'm not too savvy on AI agents and tools, but you could certainly, possibly use Zapier or other tools to remove the manual component of the labor to take the data from LinkedIn's email and with minimal effort on your part, or maybe none, translate it from the email to a sheet like this. So that's just a note. I personally don't do that. I probably should. I haven't looked into it too much, but that could be an option if you're really savvier on that front. And to wrap up here, if you do want a template sheet like what I previewed here, you can check the link in the description and it's available there and it's completely free. So just enter your email and you'll go to a Google Drive folder, you'll get the sheet and you'll get a Google Doc on how to use the sheet, how to customize it for your business. And that is it. I appreciate you watching. And if you have any questions or comments, you can contact me at this email. And thank you so much for watching.